Federal government cannot use bond to keep us in Nigeria. Doctors reply Ngige. Welcome to the news and please subscribe to our channel. Doctors in Nigeria have rejected a proposal by the Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, for physicians trained in Nigeria to work in the country for at least 9 years before being allowed to migrate. Now the news in detail. It was observed that the number of Nigerian doctors practicing in the United Kingdom had hit 8,983 as of Saturday and is likely to hit 9,000 this week. Ngige had, during the 2022 budget defense of his ministry at the House of Representatives earlier in the week, lamented the effect of brain drain on the health sector in relation to the low cost of medical education in the country. According to the minister, medical workers trained by the government should be made to sign a bond that will make them serve the country for at least 9 years before they can consider relocating to another country. He had said medical education in Nigeria is almost free. Where else in the world is it? The Presidential Committee on Health should come with a proposal for bonding doctors, nurses, medical lab scientists, and other health workers so that they don't just carry their bags and walk out of the country at will when they are trained at no cost. In London, it is 45,000 euros a session for medical education in university. If you go to Edinburgh or Oxford, you pay $80,000. If you go to the USA, you pay $45,000. But if you go to Ivy Leagues, you pay $90,000 for only tuition, excluding lodging. You do it for 6 years. So people in America take loans. We can make provisions for loans and you pay back. If the government will train you for free, we should bond you. You serve the country for 9 years before you go anywhere. But the Medical and Dental Consultants Association of Nigeria and the Guild of Medical Directors on Saturday faulted Ngige's plan. The immediate past president of the D0CT0RS and a member of the National Executive Council of the association, Prof. Ken Ekilo, faulted Ngige's proposal about the bond. According to Ekilo, lots of factors contribute to the brain drain being reported in the country, and creating bonds will not serve them. He stated, the minister's suggestion shows a poor appreciation of the forces at play concerning brain drain in Nigeria. The Nigerian work environment is hostile to the medical doctor, and the Nigerian security situation is hostile to Nigerian citizens. Infrastructure is poor, equipment is obsolete, drugs and supplies are out of stock, and the personnel are few, overworked, and underpaid. There is no sense of job satisfaction, professional growth, of commensurate financial reward. These are the push factors. The salaries being offered by the destination countries are irresistible, in addition to perks such as paid holidays, free education for children, sponsorship for training, conferences, and workshops, all within the context of a stable society with functional social amenities. These are the pull factors. The idea of bonding doctors alone is faulty on several fronts. First, it is not only doctors that are trained at public expense, so the bond will have to be required of anyone who has passed through the public education system in Nigeria. He argued that the policy will send the wrong signal to workers, as it will indicate a failure of ideas on the part of government, and a resort to coercion reminiscent of countries lacking in social liberty. The doctor argued the policy would encourage emigration through the back door, and other illegal means will boom, as would human trafficking. Lastly, the government cannot implement this without infringing on both the doctors' fundamental human rights and the freedom guaranteed to citizens under the Nigerian Constitution. I sympathize with the government. It is not an easy problem to solve, and difficult decisions must be made, Ekilo added. Also, the national president of the Guild of Medical Directors, Prof. Olufemi Babalola, said the minister should not propose the idea of a bond, saying, as he has said during an interview a while ago, that there was no brain drain. Babalola added, this is not the way to curb brain drain in the country. I seem to recall that it was the same minister who said there was no brain drain some time ago. The fact that he is proposing this solution would suggest an acknowledgement on the part of the government that we do have a serious crisis on our hands. According to him, the average medical graduate seeks greener pastures abroad, not because they do not prefer to stay at home, but because conditions are atrocious and salaries are scandalously low for the skilled set they possess. A medical doctor in government employment in Nigeria today cannot afford to buy a new car, not even a foreign used car. That is the extent to which doctors have been debased in Nigeria. Let us address the issues and make the situation much more attractive, and they will stay to serve their motherland. You cannot force them, Babalola said. The President's Association of Resident Doctors, Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, Ikeja chapter, Dr. Aziz Ojekunle, said Ngige statement will increase the rate of brain drain in the country. We were looking forward to having a penocare for the long-standing massive brain drain, but quite unfortunate that response from such a stockholder would only inevitably worsen the exodus in a rather geometric pattern. Such proportion will cause exodus in the early medical career path, which currently is more among practicing medical doctors, and will then progress to medical students who glaringly see the deplorable state of practicing environment in the healthcare sector. Even right now, final year medical students are begging to write examination to exit the country as soon as upon completion of their housemanship, Ojekunle said. But a joint health sector union, which comprises all medical professionals who are not doctors, argued that the proposed policy ought not to apply to its members because only doctors receive subsidized education. The spokesperson for GOHESU, Johesu, Olumide Akintayo, said only medical doctors enjoyed the subsidized medical education mentioned by the minister and should have no problem with the proposed bond. He said it is only doctors who enjoy the privilege of subsidized medical education. It is not okay for the minister to include all other health workers. Recently, there has been a surge in the number of medical doctors leaving the country. Meanwhile, it is observed that the number of Nigerian doctors in the UK has risen to 8,983 and is expected to surpass 9,000 this week, going by the daily rate of the 4 Nigerian doctors being licensed in the UK per day. This is not right. Ngige's statement is not being fair. Sincerely, I just hope that there are other ways to go about this without asking them to practice 9 years in a country that is not favoring them. Abba, this is not being fair. If that is the case, people will prefer the subsidy being removed then so that immediately after they finish, learning, they move out to look for greener pastures. On this note, we have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of your day.